After several days of testing, I finally have enough knowledge to share to you guys one of the deadliest build that you can use for Chroma. At first, I did plan to make a video on just how to solo capture a Terrorist using Azure with Chroma, but I decided to make this as an overall Chroma build, as it's not only good for the Terrorist fight, but this build is really good against all other enemies in Warframe. Yes, I know that almost every weapon you use with Chroma will reach 1,000,000 damage, but this build can deal 200 million plus damage even with level 100 plus heavy armored enemies. I know you're eager to know on how did I reach that kind of damage, so let's cut the long introduction and start this video guide. First, let's discuss about my Azure. Now, I did featured this dagger in my recent video about the Wukong Nuke Them All build, but for those who haven't watched it yet, then let me explain how I build this Azure. It's a dagger Azure created with Equanagita Link, Ballistreich, and Plague Aquin Grip. You have the option here to copy my Azure or create your own. Just remember to create a dagger Azure, which has high crit chance, high status chance and good attack speed. So why a dagger? Based from all my testings, dagger are simply the best option for this build, as it can be equipped with covert lethality, which boosts our damage really high. Now, an ordinary dagger Azure won't achieve 200 million plus damage. You need to equip it with an arcane called Exodia Contagion, that one you have acquired from the Operation Plague Star event. When this arcane procs that 400% damage, along with Chroma's Vex armor buff, then you can easily wipe out almost all enemies standing right in front of you. Okay, let's have a short demo on what Chroma plus this Azure can do against level 105 corrupted bombard enemies. Now, let's talk about builds. First, let's take a look at my Chroma build. For this Warframe, I have lots of power strength and power duration for my Vex armor. I know some of you will be surprised on why I'm not using Rage or Hunter Adrenaline anymore to restore my energy. It's because the Zenuric Focus School has just been buffed, and all my energy problems for Chroma is fixed with a single focus node called Energizing Dash. If you don't have a maxed out Energizing Dash yet, then you can replace Augur Message with either Hunter Adrenaline or Rage. Also, you might be surprised on why I added Handspring instead of Power Drift on the Exilus mod slot. It's because I really hate being knocked down by enemies. I do long survival runs every time, and those slam attacks by enemy like the heavy gunner is really a pain, as it will leave you helpless on the ground. I did choose to have more survivability by equipping Handspring instead of Power Drift. But you can replace this mod slot with any Exilus mod you like. Okay, now let's talk about how I modded my dagger Azure, which I named Soul of Cinder. The most important mods in this dagger are Covert Lethality, Spoiled Strike, and Primed Pressure Point. These three will help this Azure gain as much damage needed to deal 1,000,000 damage with Chroma. I also have Primed Reach for the increase in blast radius, perfect to clear some closely grouped enemies. Some say that attack speed mod do increase the speed of Exodia Contagion's projectile, but I don't see any difference. I think that the based attack speed of weapon does increase the speed of projectile and not the mod. But I have Fury and some corrosive status on this weapon, for some close range combat. These 4 mods slot to your right are replaceable, and you can change it as you like. For the Terrorist fight, I really suggest you go with pure radiation. But in most cases, radiation is not needed, as you can one-shot the limbs and the Terrorist itself, even without the critical damage. Now, I don't want to discuss here how I solo captured the Terrorist using this Azure, but the process is still the same. You just have to get the level 30 to 50 bounty first from Konzu to get max leveled lures, and the rest of the fight is pretty much the same. I will just leave a link on the end of this video if you want to know how to solo capture a Deadliest using Chroma. Anyway, the only thing that changes are my equipment. I was using Arcoplasma in the past and now, I'm just using a simple Daggersaw to capture a Deadliest. A piece of advice though, be very careful in using this arcane powered Daggersaw, as it has a really high self-damage. Best that you keep a safe distance first before throwing the projectile. The self-damage is like the lens. The only difference is, this doesn't have a first and second blast mechanic. When you get hit by the projectile, you die instantly. So there you have it, that's how you build the deadliest weapon for Chroma. It certainly is a fitting description for this Zaw, as not only that it can be deadly to the enemies, but it can also endanger yourself. But, I know with some practice, you will get the hang of using this Zaw. If you are one of those players who like to see lots of damage numbers on their screen, I really suggest that you try out this build. This arcane powered Zaw is really the perfect match for Chroma, and I think it's safe to say that this is the best possible combo if you want to have an overkill build for Chroma. Okay, that's it for me guys. Again, I do hope that you find this video both informative and entertaining. If you did, please do me a favor and hit that like button. You may also subscribe to my channel if you want to see more Warframe videos in the future from me. Before I end this video, I just want to take this opportunity to thank all my subscribers. I really didn't expect that a guy who just shares what he experienced from playing the game could have this so much attention from you guys. Thank you all for your generous support, and I hope you will continue to stick with me in my YouTube journey. Again, thank you so much and see you on my next video.